Hi dear friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to take a look at a fountain pen from Noodlers Inc. and that is Noodlers Ahab. The particular model that I have here and we're going to take a look at today is pumpkin color. As you can see, it has kind of swirl of this orange pumpkin-like color with gray and silver gray colors here. The fountain pen comes in a box that is nothing special about it. Reminds me of old packaging during the Iron Curtain in Eastern Europe. The box has nothing, no instruction, no manual, no warranty. But this doesn't bother me because I purchased this fountain pen for like 23 euros or something like that from Amazon. And this fountain pen is very simple. It's an average size fountain pen, and we compare that, for example, with Jinhao 159, which is much longer and much girthier than Noodlers Ahab. The Noodlers Ahab has a very usable and nice clip here. On the clip it's written Noodlers Inc. The finial is completely round, as well as the end of the barrel. When you remove the cap, you find the section which tapers down a little bit, but like in two steps, not at once. And then we also see the fountain pen nib, which is supposed to be a flex nib. It is in fact a flex nib. And what's special about this nib is that it doesn't have a breather hole. It has a simple cut through the entire length of the nib. And the reason for that, as you can see here, as I'm pushing this fountain pen against my nail, the tines of the nib open up very easily, and that will of course change the line width and give flexibility to the fountain pen. This particular fountain pen, as the other users have signaled, does have a smell when it first comes. You open up from the box, it smells sort of like chemicals, acetone, some aldehydes, but the smell probably from the plastic, from the plasticizer, or if this is made of celluloid, but I'm not sure if it's made of celluloid, could be the solvent from the celluloid, or if it's polymer plastic, then it might be that it's just a plasticizer smell or some solvents used during the processing. And it goes away after a while. Now it doesn't smell almost at all after, let's say, 3 or 4 months. The particular model that I got here, as I said, is a pumpkin color. There is some observable differences in color between the color of the barrel, which is really orange pumpkin, and that of the section. It's of a little bit of a different, slightly different color. This is more towards pink, but this doesn't bother me. For this price, is fine. The reason I purchased this fountain pen was for its flexibility. And I'm going to try today to see how it performs. The filling system of this Noodlers Ahab is very simple. It's just a simple piston filler, which you just pull to fill in the ink. And as you can see now, it's unfilled, so I'm going to fill it with especially lubricated ink, which is from Rohrer and Klinger. And this is Verdigris, especially lubricated ink, which should help with enhancing the flex writing performance of this fountain pen. So next, after filling up the pen, I'm gonna give a writing sample, and then I'm gonna compare its performance with that of a Zebra G nib installed on the Jinhao 159, as I've shown in one of my previous videos. So I'm gonna fill up the pen now. You see the ink capacity is about maybe 1.5 milliliter, which is not disappointing at all for this fountain pen. The ink capacity is probably a little bit larger than for the cartridge converter, I would say. This fountain pen also doesn't post very well. It does, the cap enters and it's quite secure, but then it will be too lengthy. The weight of the pen is very reasonable. So for this writing sample, I'm going to use it uncapped. And if you allow me, the sample writing which I'm going to do next is going to be, so I'm going to try to write as flexy as possible. So this is Noodlers ink. Oops, doesn't write anymore. I'm not sure why. I just filled it. Maybe I pushed it too hard. Let's prime it a little bit. This pen should actually write. I actually never tried this fountain pen with this ink. So again, no, yes, now. Okay, so we start all over again. This is Noodlers ink. Ahab. So as you can see, it writes very wet, very juicy. I'll write again, Noodlers ink. Ahab. So now I'm trying to write normally, as flexy as possible, trying to push on the downstrokes. On upstroke is normal, downstrokes again try to push, upstroke no push. Noodlers ink. So in this way I can achieve some line variation of my writing. However, I must say, if I have a stub nib, from a stub nib I can get much more line variation than from Ahab's flexibility. So this is a steel nib. Flexible. The ink is from Rohrer and Klingner, and model the color Verdi Gris. The flexibility down, maximum as possible pressure, then not pressure at all. And I would say this is a fine line, and this is a broad, double broad, probably. So if you write sufficiently slow, you will get enough line variation. However, I get here now I have a very uncomfortable position because of the camera is in my way. It writes decently smooth. On a smoothness scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being Pelikan M1000 broad, which writes extremely smooth, and 10 Hero 616, I would say this is a probably 6 to 7. It has some feedback, No, it doesn't have that. It has some feedback and it's a little bit scratchy, but that is fine. The reason I purchased is for the flex function. And next I'm going to compare its flex performance, to that of a Jinhao 159 Zebra G fitted flexible nib. So in order to do that, I have to choose a text, and that is probably going to be, let's say, Noodlers Inc. Ahab. Noodlers Inc. And in fact, I've pushed as much as possible on the downstroke. So let's do it again. Noodlers. This is the maximum of pressure I can apply to this nib. So I'm going from fine to double broad, I would say. And this Zebra G fitted on Jinhao 159 is the same text. I feel this one is much more flexible with, let's say, extra fine to triple broad. And one can feel that this can be pushed much harder. Some railroading, however, is imminent for this Zebra G, probably due to the feed. So let's try it again. Noodlers. What I like is that if I don't press at all, is a very nice extra fine line. However, this Jinhao Zebra G is very unpleasant for fast writing. It's kind of scratchy, while the thinking behind Noodlers Inc. Ahab is that you can actually use it as a daily writer, and if you don't push on it, it can write perfectly normal, no line variation. From the wetness point of view, it's not the wettest ever, but it's not bad. I mean, also the ink, this verdigris from Rohrer & Klinger is very lubricated, so it's quite a wet writer, I would say, which is fine. Definitely helps with the flexibility. So try one more time. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.